everyone, and Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Welcome back to the Plutonium Show, first episode back of 2024.
Here we are.
I swear to God, these numbers don't even make sense to me anymore. It's just, okay, what are we, 2024? Sure.
Yeah, bring it on. I guess we'll knock up the clock then, jeez.
So, we've got quite a few topics as usual. I feel like I say this every day. However, I think it would be fair to say that the majority, or the main topic rather, of today is it's related to Meghan. I know a lot of you tune in specifically for Meghan and Harry and the royal family, and it's absolutely 100% to do with them. But of course, we cannot ignore Prince Andrew and his involvement with Epstein and the list, because it's not literally a list.
Yeah, the idea of a list was totally a myth.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was a big one too, and the fact that everyone was waiting for this list, it's like, no, that's not how this works.
Yeah, I was expecting a list as well, and then it was just a bunch of names randomly thrown around in court documents. You know, almost 1,000 pages. 900,
I believe. Yeah, of assorted, not 900 pages of one document, but 900 pages worth of separate documents.
Yes. In case you're wondering what the hell's going on top of my head, I will put up an image of what I attempted. It's gonna cover Zach, I think, just for a second. What I attempted and what I got, because I did it last minute with kind of dirty hair, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't have a team of Hollywood hair stylists to help me do it. So there you go. This is what you get. It's like what you ordered and what you get.
Can we have this? We have it at home.
Yes,
it's that
yes,
neat.
yes.
Hey, for the record, I don't think your hair looks bad at all, but you'd say, I'm a guy, what do I know?
What do you know?
Yeah.
But thank you, nonetheless. I want to start off with posing a question, I suppose, to you, Zach, I suppose even to myself, and of course to the audience. Does absolute power corrupt absolutely in every instance, no matter the human? Because when I'm hearing about this list that, you know, is not really a list, and just Jeffrey Epstein and what he got up to just by himself, forget the people who were allegedly involved with himself, it makes me wonder, are we all depraved and disgusting when we're at that level of riches and power? Or is it just the bad eggs that end up this way, and there are many rich, just incredibly powerful people in the world that are benevolent and we're just not hearing about them? You wanna?
Yeah, no, I think that what you just said, well, we don't hear about the good things. We never hear about the good things. You turn on the TV, you're only going to hear about bad things. And even if there are good things, they're going to turn them into bad things, because that's just the nature of your free-to-air TV, and it's always doom and gloom. Even the algorithms on social media is always doom and gloom. So good billionaires or good 1%ers, if they exist, that whatever they're doing is under the radar. You know, how many people do you hear about donating to charities? Well, it's because we're not going to tell you how many people donate to charities, because that's not going to make people click. Here's this good news. No one's interested. So on that point, I would say that even the people affiliated, so-called affiliated, because there are so many names mentioned in the 900 pages. One point that I came across was that rich people will often only mingle with rich people. Mm-hmm. So there are people who have met Epstein who have done nothing wrong, but they have met him once or twice because they were in those circles.
Yeah, an example of that is Michael Jackson. Because when I heard that Michael's name was on the list, my heart sank. I was like, oh no, here we go again. You know, just people won't even let him rest in death. And I looked into it, and it turns out that he did visit Jeffrey Epstein's Florida home, not the island, once. And the witness how this came about was, the witness was asked, you know, which rich and powerful people have you been around? And she said, you know, there's that and that. And then, there was Michael Jackson as well. And then she was pressed on the details. And she just said, no, he just visited once in Florida while I was there. And she was asked twice, not in a row, on separate instances, whether she ever gave him a massage. And she said no.
Yeah.
So, for example, Michael Jackson is completely, as far as we know, innocent in his interactions with Jeffrey Epstein.
There were so many people that were asked about, like in the deposition, so many people names that came up. So it could be, did you ever meet this person?
Yes.
And they would say no. So now that person is on the list, as the media would like to say.
Yeah.
Maybe the media should catch up to reality and stop twisting things just for their version of clicks.
It's clickbait a lot of the time. Of course, there are instances where it's not clickbait and there are very serious allegations, and Prince Andrew, unfortunately for him and the royal family, happens to fall under that umbrella.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one was Bill Clinton.
Yes.
So there's another one where you're like, all right, well, Bill Clinton, it doesn't have the cleanest record. And then, so if it's this person shook hands with Epstein one time, or even I believe Trump shared a plane with him a couple of times as well.
Yes, but there have been no allegations against him.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, it comes down to if the person has had a history or if there are allegations coming out after, sure. But to just have been affiliated with Epstein, I think anyone in that bracket of wealth would have been affiliated with Epstein at one point or another.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree, because he sought them out.
Exactly.
It's, from what I heard, it's what he did on purpose sometimes just to lure his victim in. He'd say, look at this photo. I met Michael Jackson. Oh, how about this? I met Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know anything about Leonardo. I know he loves young women, but there has been no indication he likes them underage.
Yeah.
So, but his name was there. But yeah, Epstein was a master manipulator, and he would do things to lure his victims in.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, actually now almost 3 years ago, it was late 2021, so just over 2 years ago, when Prince Andrew and Virginia Giuffre were, making the news, and she sued him and whatnot. I remember her lawyer, David Boies, who was also Elizabeth Holmes' lawyer.
Oh,
Theranos,
boy.
yeah,
Right.
saying to the media, and someone brought this to my attention again, refreshed my memory via Instagram. You know who you are, and thank you so much, because this is it really aged poorly. David Boies said, oh, we might get in touch with Meghan Markle because, she is in our jurisdiction in the US, and we might depose her. And it will be a good thing because not only does she know things about Prince Andrew being part of the royal family, but she'll tell the truth. We can count on her to tell the truth.
It wouldn't matter if you were a guilty or innocent party on either side of the law, whether, a defendant or not. As soon as you bring Meghan on either side of that case, your case might as well be lost, because anyone around you, just like all the celebrities that keep Meghan around, I say celebrities, but the event organizers that think to themselves, oh, we'll bring Meghan Markle along and that'll get us views. It's like, no, all you've done is tarnish your brand. So, yeah, Meghan in a court of law, no, that doesn't make her tell the truth.
Oh, we already know that, though.
Exactly.
We already know that. You all know what I'm going to reference. Finding Perjury.
Yep.
I've renamed the book. It's officially Finding Perjury now.
Yeah.
So she already, look, I cannot, say she lied to the court, but she forgot and thereby misled the court accidentally because she had mommy brain, which she accused Princess Catherine of having after she had her third child, Louis. She was a little bit forgetful or something, and then Meghan's like, you must have mommy brain. And it was really rude, and Catherine really didn't like that. So now I'm just like, every time I remember, little Miss Forgetful, I say she's got mommy brain too. It's only fair. Yeah,
no. Look, having a kid is an ordeal, but no, Meghan, all of your excuses don't fly because you're just the girl who cried wolf for the billionth time.
I think we can say she is a liar.
Yes.
She is a liar. I can't say definitively in relation to that forgetfulness, a euphemism. But she has lied about so many things.
If she hadn't lied 100 times before and didn't lie 1,000 times after, then maybe she could be given the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But the correlation, right? She never stops lying. She's going to lie 1 million more times this year. And we just can say that, well, there's a very high probability that just because she's sitting in a court chair doesn't change anything.
Absolutely. Once a liar, always a liar, no matter where you are, outside of court or in it. So I just find it hilarious. Go ahead, David Boies. I wonder if he still thinks so after everything that's happened in the last, 3 years now. Perhaps he's changed his mind, or perhaps his client will be like, you know what? Let's not depose this woman.
Yeah. I mean, if they're anywhere on the internet and they're like, don't these people Google search? I didn't search Harry on Google.
Yeah.
Again, there's a lie.
Yeah.
But, if any of these people do a quick Google search, I don't know who Meghan Markle is. Click, click, click. Maybe not.
Well, the funny thing is, I didn't Google Harry part. It's a bit of a tangent, but she always feels the need to say it unprompted.
Yeah.
Even in the engagement interview from 2017, she would just say, I didn't know much about him. I didn't really know anything about the royal family. And no one asked her if she knew. She just says it. She volunteers the information.
Yeah.
Because it's a lie. It's like someone saying, I'm a good person. And they just robbed a bank.
Yeah.
It's kind of, no one asked you. Like, chill out.
Yeah. I'm innocent.
Yeah.
I would never do anything wrong. It's like, I just met you. I didn't even know your name yet. Calm down.
That's the vibes you get.
Yeah.
So, good luck with deposing her if you're still going to depose her. People were saying, oh, she's probably going to be on the list. She wasn't, as far as we're aware. I don't think Meghan was in that circle, I suppose. I mean, she definitely wasn't rich and powerful enough to be invited. And she wasn't young enough to be sought after from what I can see. I mean, late 90s, I suppose, but definitely early 2000s when Prince Andrew was involved, she was already in her 20s. So, too old for the likes of Epstein.
Yeah, I mean, the closest thing you get to is to a list is the flight logs.
Yes.
Right? And even the flight logs were not specific. So sometimes I think they would say, I couldn't really read it properly because I was watching another YouTuber talk about it. And I think it said either, the initials of Epstein, the initials of, not Virginia, Ghislaine, and then like two famous or two females or things like that. So they weren't always specific. So maybe she was one of the females. But then we're getting so far into conspiracy territory.
That's the problem here. We don't do that on this channel, and our audience appreciates that. So, no, she has not turned up on the list. And honestly, I see no reason that she would. I'm not saying that she didn't, people say she was a yacht girl. There are photos of her on yachts. Yes, whatever. Whatever she did in her own time is she didn't hurt anyone. As long as she didn't hurt anyone. But in terms of connecting her to Epstein, there's no evidence. As soon as there is evidence, of course, the tune will change.
Yes.
Now, Prince Andrew's accusations, I mean, this man, it just, the hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper, as if it wasn't bad enough that he settled, because people see settlement as an admission of guilt. And I've said this before on my channel. I said it when this case was fresh in 2021. It is not an admission of guilt in general. Now, I'm not saying that I believe Prince Andrew didn't do it, but I will bring up the presumption of innocence once again. Innocent until proven guilty. Yes, he could have gone to court. It was a civil case, however, so it wouldn't have proved any guilt per se. It would have proved civil liability. But the point is, in general, from a legal standpoint, when you settle out of court, that doesn't always mean you're admitting guilt. Sometimes you just want it to go away.
Yep.
And sometimes, for example, in Prince Harry's case, if he accepted the offer that was made to him by, I believe it was Mirror News Group, he would have fared better. They offered him more money than he ended up being awarded in damages. So, just wanted to get that out of the way. However, guilty or not, the allegations are horrific. They are so bad. We're talking underage, large groups of people in one go. Yeah. And people have reported him to the police in the UK over this, by the way, just to investigate it, to open an official investigation, because apparently it took place in London. Yeah. So they have jurisdiction, and the police refused.
What the hell?
Now, it's not surprising to us, though.
No.
I mean, when I heard that news, I was like, I want to let everyone know that this is not just because Prince Andrew is Prince Andrew. This is maybe not global. I don't know how other parts of the world do it, but it's a Western world problem.
Yep.
The police do not take cases of sexual assault seriously.
Nope, they do not.
And everyone who's been here long enough would know that Zach is a victim of such assault at the hands of a woman. And here I thought that the police didn't take it seriously because she's a woman and he's a man. But here we have, the stereotypical, I suppose, perpetrator-victim role, which is man being a perpetrator, woman victim,
Yeah.
and they're still not investigating.
Yep. I think part of it is because he's in the royal family. I think part of it, this is a big one for me. Part of it is because there's no money to be made. Because we are becoming a society that only cares about where there's money to be made, even in government institutes. So in a drug bust, there's money to be made. Not all the money through a drug bust and not all the drugs through a drug bust are going into the right hands. People are taking cuts on that. So the police are much more likely to rush out to bust a drug dealer than they are to rush out and do an investigation on assault.
Yeah, and I want to make clear, look, I know that the frontline police officers are good people, and for the most part, they sign up with the right intentions, because I don't want to offend anyone who is a police officer, is married to one, has a sibling, a parent. They're for the most part, every occupation has its rotten eggs.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're good people. It's the higher ups.
Yes.
The higher ups who we don't see, who we don't communicate with.
Yeah.
They're the ones pulling the strings, and they're the ones deciding, yeah, we don't want to allocate any resources to this case, so we're not going to investigate it.
Yeah.
Because, if you want any insight, I sat down with detectives, I sat down with Crown prosecutors, of course in Australia, not in the UK, and they all unanimously told me there is a resource problem. We have a very limited amount of resources, and we do pick and choose what cases to prosecute.
Yeah.
That is the reality. There isn't an infinite amount of money, which is such a problem, especially when it comes to serious offenses such as this.
So we don't have enough police to take care of the population, but we keep encouraging people to increase the population when we have a resource problem and can't protect them.
Yeah. So people are saying, oh, well, they should investigate, which I agree. I think if there are enough grounds to investigate, it should be opened. And if I were an innocent person, I would welcome an investigation, because I would want this to get, I want to get it over with.
Absolutely, because if anything, if you're innocent, you want to be proven innocent, right? Officially, on record. Be done with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Kevin Spacey did.
Yeah.
He went to court twice, once in the US, once in the UK. Now, look, I don't like the man. I look at him and I get the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
But he was found innocent twice. So now he can walk around. I mean, I'm sure his career is never going to be the same again.
Yeah.
But at least now people can say, well, it's been tested, according to a certain standard of proof. And Prince Andrew can't say the same. And of course, this is having such a blowback on the royals. He was with them recently for the Christmas walkabout, as was his wife, Sarah Ferguson. We'll get back to her because Meghan comes back in relation to the Duchess of York. So stick around for that. But yeah, it's just not looking good, especially because a lot of people are posing this question, which is very damaging. They're saying, Prince Andrew has always had security around him, even when he went to see Epstein. Did no one ever see anything? Let's say they're on the island with a group of obviously underage children, girls, 14, 15, 16. Wouldn't anyone report back to the royal family and say, hey, your son, I'm imagining someone's talking to the Queen, to be honest, may she rest in peace. Prince Andrew's, playing in the dirt with really nasty, rotten people. You might want to pull him aside. Like, this is what I've seen, Your Majesty. This is the truth.
Yep.
Do with it what you will. You know what? You know what I mean? Sorry.
Yeah. I think that when it comes to security detail, and I can only hypothesize here, right? But I think that someone like Prince Andrew would only keep the sort of guards around who knew how to keep their mouth shut. And I think the ones who were maybe blabbermouths or failed his little tests here and there would probably not be around his detail. So he'd only take his most trusted people with him to do any of that stuff. So yeah, because think about it, how many guards have witnessed how many atrocities by these horrible people before? Plenty, I'm sure. And I'm sure plenty have kept their mouths shut. And if you are, if that is your job, being a guard for these rich and powerful people, if you're known as a blabbermouth or someone who's going to tell the truth when someone's doing something dodgy, you're out of that line of work completely because they'll blacklist you.
But they wouldn't have to reveal themselves. They would just tell the Queen in confidence.
You would hope so. But then someone like Prince Andrew would be like, well, I only had these people around me. So, maybe all of these people are going to lose their job as a regret, which is a crazy scenario where someone has to go, well, I sacrificed my livelihood by telling the truth.
And not just the truth, exposing a heinous, disgusting crime.
Exactly. But then maybe on the other hand, if we're going to play devil's advocate, what if someone did report something and it was just swept under the rug?
See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say this looks bad on the royal family as well. It reflects badly because I know you've heard this before, and you might know what I'm about to say. The standard you walk past is the standard you accept.
Yep.
It's an Australian army saying. And it basically means if you're just going to see something and not say anything about it, and it's a really bad thing, you're enabling it.
Yes.
You're okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very selfish. And there comes a time when, this is just my belief, when people or even organizations, institutions like the royal family, the monarchy, you have to, there comes a time where you have to stop looking at it through just, I don't want to say lens, that's Meghan's favorite word.
Yeah.
From the viewpoint of, we have to protect our own, and just do what's right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying report your son, to the Queen. I'm not saying report Andrew to the police, but you do what's right. You pull him aside. It's like, hey, Epstein was convicted.
Yep.
By the mid-2000s.
Yep.
Why are you hanging out with him?
Furthermore, threaten them with, if you don't stop this heinous behavior, if you don't uphold the standard expected of you by general humanity, not even the royalty, then we will have to go to the police with this.
Well, not even that. Threaten him. Strip him of everything.
Yep.
If you don't stop, you lose everything.
Yep.
But that's not what happened. And it really begs the question. I'm not, casting any aspersions. I'm not accusing any particular member of the royal family of enabling Prince Andrew, because I have no proof. But I have a family of my own. We all do. And you notice things. And I would hope that if you love the person, or if you know what's right and wrong, you would speak up.
Yes.
Talk to them. I don't mean go talk to the press like Meghan and Harry with their lies. Pull them aside and have a serious, what do the French say, tete-a-tete, right? Just a one-to-one conversation. And I don't know. It looks like that hasn't happened. And that's why it just doesn't look good.
Yep.
Another thing that keeps popping up on the news is, if Prince Andrew is innocent, why doesn't he sue these women who are making these accusations? And unfortunately, in the press, in the media, you don't have a lot of, journalists are not lawyers. And they really run with that. They go, that's a great point. Why doesn't he sue? And I'll tell you why. It's because of the doctrine of absolute privilege, which applies to any accusations, anything stated in judicial proceedings or anything in connection to judicial proceedings. So even statements, depositions, investigations, anything related to court proceedings or judicial proceedings is protected forever. You can't sue over it. So Prince Andrew could sue if, let's say, the accuser spoke to the press. Directly to the press, and she said, this is what he did to me. Yes, he could sue for defamation if he were so inclined. But because all of this is being extracted from court documents and depositions and whatnot, he can't. That's just the way the law works. You might say it's unfair, but that's just how it is.
By the time it gets into the court system, at that point, you're relying on perjury, which is a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Under-prosecuted, exactly.
Yeah, perjury might as well not exist. It's usually tacked on as a secondary charge to a much bigger offense like murder, assault, etc.
Yeah.
But just by itself, it is rarely. I mean, look, the people who run the courts, which, people involved in, including myself as a lawyer, we know people lie.
Yes.
Everyone lies. And to pretend that they don't, we would run out of prisons for the amount of people who would be convicted of perjury.
Yeah, Amber Heard put her hand on that book and lied straight into the eyes of the jury, lied straight into the eyes of the people there, and straight into the eyes of the judge.
Nothing happened.
She had no problem with it, showed no remorse for it, and walked out.
And she wasn't prosecuted for it, more importantly. So it's a very big letdown because we were involved in a court proceeding against someone who, as you all know, terrorized us and terrorized Zach. And, when you're on the receiving end of it, when you see someone lie through their teeth in court to the point where you want to be sick.
Yeah.
You want to be sick. You're hearing them twist the whole story around.
Yep.
And they're just going to get away with it.
Yep, because they're sitting in a court chair.
Well, no, because they're not going to be prosecuted with perjury.
Yep.
That's why. So, that's why he will not sue, because he cannot. All right, finally, let's close off this episode with Meghan allegedly not being too happy with the fact that the royal family have a different set of rules for everyone else and a different set of rules for her. Now, this is in relation to the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson in particular. Now, her drama was 100% way before our time.
Yep.
I don't even know if I was born, to be honest, for a lot of it. As long as I can remember, ever since I was born and a kid, she was not part of the royal family. She divorced Andrew. They have their 2 kids. But she was not allowed to be part of the family because of, aside from the divorce, Prince Philip, may he rest in peace, couldn't stand her. He just would not look at her.
Yep.
So now, after they say 32 years, she finally was seen with them during the Christmas walkabout.
Right.
She also lives with Prince Andrew at Royal Lodge, a huge mansion with 30 rooms. And there's even talk that they might get remarried. Now, I don't know if this is a genuine affection between them because they live together anyway.
Yeah.
Or whether it's kind of an image rehabilitation on the part of Prince Andrew.
Yeah, it's very odd that they're living together.
Well, she did. Yeah, it's odd. I think they lived together before she even had breast cancer, but she recently recovered from breast cancer.
Okay.
She had a double mastectomy. It was a very, very serious ordeal. And she was released from hospital and healed at Royal Lodge. And apparently Prince Andrew was very attentive and took care of her. So they're very good friends. They do genuinely have a very good relationship.
Okay.
So, yeah. But she's back in the fold. She's been photographed with them, did the walkabout, as I said. But now Meghan is like, well, how come she gets to come back and be accepted back into the family and we're not? She also merged her title, which she did. She tried to sell things, and I don't know all the details. What I know is she apparently tried to sell access to the royal family via her ex-husband, which is, a big no-no. She merged off her title. She did weight loss sponsorships and stuff as Sarah, Duchess of York.
Oh my gosh.
But nothing she ever did involved bad-mouthing her in-laws.
Yeah. Yeah, the way that Meghan is so quick to throw the royal family under the bus repeatedly, does she really think, of course she does, because she's that entitled. What she's done is the same as Sarah Ferguson? No. From what I can hear, one tried to be an opportunist, as we spoke about, and tried to milk it for all it was worth. The other is slandering and defaming their new family just for money.
Yeah. People are saying there is, the distinction that Sarah was divorced and then she did everything, and then she started merging off her title. I don't know if that's an excuse. I still think it's a bad look. She could have done the Sarah Ferguson thing rather than Duchess of York when she was involved with all this. But unanimously, everyone says she's a good person.
Right.
Despite all of that, a very loving and attentive mother.
Yep.
Which, sorry, from what we can see, we can't say the same about Meghan.
Yeah, what we can't see even, because
who knows?
We're the kids.
Yeah, we're the kids. You're right. And again, the most important thing of all, she respected her in-laws.
Yes.
So Meghan, it's not the same thing. Imagine this woman, the Duchess of York, didn't do anything wrong by the family, at least not intentionally. And she was still excommunicated, again, predominantly because of Prince Philip. And, we haven't seen her officially with them for 32 years. So Meghan would have to wait at least until she's in her mid-70s.
Yeah.
But that's including the fact that she made an entire career out of defaming them, bad-mouthing them, and smearing them. So I would say tack on another 40 years.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair. I mean, I would say tried to make a career, because look at the, bonfire in front of her of all of everything, Netflix wants nothing to do with her. Spotify wants nothing to do with her. It's just one of those things where everything she's done has burnt up in her face, and so she has nothing to show for it. But also the fact that Sarah Ferguson just knows how to respect people. Mm-hmm. And the only person Meghan Markle thinks she's respecting is herself. Because there's only one person that Meghan Markle cares about. It's herself. She's one of the most selfish people to have ever walked the earth. And one can only imagine how long it would take for that even to be weaned out of her. Because if she stopped today and waited 32 years, you think she would stop being selfish? No. And so her with the royal family, from what you said, Sarah Ferguson can get along with people, right? She's a good person, which means that she belongs with the royal family in a gathering, because she's not going to be trying to hog the spotlight. And every single time Meghan Markle's been there, she's broken every single rule she can, whether it's something as silly as the shoulder rule, or whatever.
You mean the off-the-shoulder stuff?
Yeah, off-the-shoulder stuff, or whether it's a color thing or whatever. Every single time she's been asked to do something respectful, she has shunned it down and gone, no, I'm Meghan Markle. I'm the queen here, and I'll do whatever the hell I want.
Absolutely. She goes out of her way, actually. Even with things like, we have, the christening of a baby, and the color code is white for women, or cream for women, and blue for men. This is a real thing.
Yep.
She shows up wearing olive green.
Yep.
She's the only one.
And, I know that doesn't seem like a big deal to most people, because it's just,
it's petty. It sounds petty.
It's petty.
But is it?
You are part of the royal family, and when they ask you to do something as simple as please wear this color, and when you have money and tailors and all the resources to get the perfect color dress for that, you do it.
Well, the problem is it's not even like a private family affair. Those photos are, for the history books. The royal family is pretty much public property.
Exactly, because it's also setting an image. It's setting that, it's like when I was in school, and there was this big deal made about wearing the uniform, because the uniform is representing the school, right? So when you're out there, they want the school to look good. The royal family wants this sign of unison amongst everyone. So when they're all color-coded, it's like, hey, it doesn't matter that I'm prince of this or king of that. We're color-coding together because we're one big family. But Meghan has proven time and time and again that she does not belong as part of that family.
Yep. And it flies in the face of her saying, you can never wear the same color as, another senior royal. What about the color the color schemes that you're told to wear?
What about literally the instructions that were given to you that you floundered every single time?
Yeah, it's funny because they were told to wear the same color.
Yeah.
It's quite the opposite.
Meghan being a liar again.
So yeah, Meghan, if this is true and you're having a tantrum over, well, why can Sarah, mess up and come back and I can't? Number one, you're still messing up. You're still, look at you, even this article itself, the fact that her PR team leaked it is continuing to smear the royal family. You're saying, oh, they have a double standard. I wonder why. Are you going to say it's because they're racist and Sarah Ferguson is white? It's not over. She can't help herself.
Yep.
I don't think it will ever be over. I have dealt with these people. Now, I'm quite young. I haven't lived long enough to see whether these people change, to be honest. But, from what I know from much older people like Lady C and her experiences with her own mother, for instance, they don't change.
Yes, I can think of a handful of people who are, much older than us, and they act like they're 15-year-olds in school.
Oh, let's not insult 15-year-olds.
Well,
I'd say 5-year-olds having tantrums.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But especially the, nasty attitude with it, like that you see around the high school age.
The high school mentality.
Yeah, there are some people out there that still act like that. And you go, wait a second, you're old enough to be, a later mother, a grandmother, and you're acting like this.
Yeah.
As if, not just that, but they treat the people around them like that. Like they're in a playground.
Yeah.
It's like, what's wrong with you? So I don't think Meghan will ever change. I think she will keep getting worse and worse because the more desperate she gets, because nothing's working, the more outbursts she'll have. And hopefully for our entertainment, it will just be entertaining watching her continuous downfall. And hopefully she doesn't hurt more people along the way.
Yeah, and let us know what you think. Are there any parallels between Sarah Ferguson and Meghan, other than, you know, the fact that they both tried to merge their titles? Should Meghan be, I mean, I already know the answer that you're all going to give, but should she be allowed back into the fold? Yeah. I honestly, even 40 years is not long enough.
Nope.
I just threw that number out there, but
Nope.
no. Yeah, people like her, they don't deserve not even a second chance, man. They've already given her a second chance.
They don't deserve any chances.
They don't deserve any chances. Yeah. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. I guess enjoyed is the wrong word, because it's, for the most part, it was a bit of a heavier topic. We'll see how this plays out with Prince Andrew.
Yep.
And whether Meghan will get deposed, because she's such a truthful person.
Oh, man.
If her case with her sister goes ahead, she's going to get deposed, and we'll see. We'll get another taste of just how truthful she is.
Yeah.
Wink,
Well,
wink.
we all know, don't we?
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.
See you then.
Bye.